Why can't Amul launch an IPO? The truth that 99% of people don't know. India's most trusted brand. A name that children, elders, and entire families trust blindly. A brand whose very glimpse makes you think of milk, butter, curd, ice cream, and paneer. The company that made India's villages prosperous, made farmers self-reliant, and brought the white revolution to the entire nation. If I tell you that despite being such a huge, powerful, and successful company, Amul can never go to the stock market, can never launch an IPO, and can never trade on the stock exchange like a corporate company, would you believe it? Most people will ask, why? When other dairies can launch IPOs, why not Amul? And that is where the secret lies. A story that started 75 years ago and is still just as strong and alive today. Amul is not just a company. Amul, the taste of India, is not just an advertisement. It is an emotion, a revolution, a movement. When you buy Amul milk, you are not just buying milk. You are buying the hard work of a farmer, his hope, his support system. That packet of milk doesn't just contain milk. It carries the weight of millions of dreams. For years people have wondered, such a massive organization, such high turnover, such huge brand value. Then why doesn't it launch an IPO? Why doesn't it enter the stock market? Why doesn't it give ownership to the public? But to understand the real answer, you must understand one thing. Amul is not a company. Amul is a cooperative. A cooperative is not just a word, it's a complete ideology. Amul's full name is Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation. It is not the property of any business tycoon, it is not the empire of any billionaire investor, and it is not the creation of any corporate boardroom. Amul does not belong to one person. It belongs to more than 30 lakh farmers collectively. In thousands of villages across Gujarat, there are small milk collection centers. Farmers bring their milk every morning and evening. It is weighed, quality tested, and then payment goes directly into their bank accounts. No middleman, no broker, no corporate shark in between. Whatever profit is made does not go to shareholders, not to brokers, not to foreign investors. It goes straight to the farmers. And that is the real magic of Amul. Imagine this. If you buy 1 liter of milk for 50 rupees, almost 40 rupees of that goes directly to the farmer. That means nearly 80% of the money reaches the very person who raised the cattle, worked hard, woke up at 4 a.m. and supplied that milk. In many countries around the world, this farmer's share is only around 30 to 35%. The rest is eaten up by big corporates, large dairy companies, and market chains. But Amul completely reversed this system. Here, the company is not at the top, the farmer is. Farmers in Gujarat consider Amul their family, their pride. With this money, roads were built in villages, water tanks were constructed, schools and hospitals were established, and entire rural economies were strengthened. That's why it is said, Amul is not just a milk business, it's a village prosperity business. Now comes the biggest question. If this institution is so powerful, rich, and successful, then why doesn't it launch an IPO? The answer is simple, yet very deep. Because an IPO changes ownership. IPO, or initial public offering, means a company sells its shares to the public to raise money. When shares are sold, ownership changes. Today, the owners of Amul are the farmers. If an IPO comes tomorrow, wealthy outsiders, big investors, foreign funds, and private corporations will buy those shares. Farmers will become the minority. Decisions will shift from farms to boardrooms. The focus of profits will move away from improving farmers' lives to making shareholders richer. Then investors will say, increase prices, maximize profits, reduce farmer payouts, cut costs. And the Amul that people proudly call their own today would slowly turn into just another corporate dairy company. To avoid exactly this risk, Amul made a clear decision. There will never be an IPO. Amul's philosophy is crystal clear. This business is not for profit, it is for people. Its goal is not quarterly reports, but the future of generations. It was created not for market domination, but for farmer empowerment. And this didn't happen by accident. It came from a vision, from a man, from a legend, Dr. Verghese Kurien. In 1946, when farmers sold milk, they didn't get fair prices. Middlemen swallowed their earnings, and poor farmers kept suffering exploitation. That's when a movement began in Anand, Gujarat. We will sell our milk ourselves, we will decide our price, and we will secure our children's future ourselves. That is where Amul was born. This wasn't just a business model, it was the white revolution. For the first time, the world saw that when power comes into the hands of farmers, they don't just change themselves, they change the entire nation. Today, Amul's turnover is more than 70,000 crore, and it exports to over 50 countries. From butter to cheese, paneer to chocolate, ice cream to beverages, Amul is the no. One brand everywhere. And yet, the ownership remains the same, the farmers. No foreign shareholders, no corporate kings. And perhaps this is why the trust in Amul is so strong that people don't see it just as a brand, they see it like family. Imagine, if Amul launched an IPO tomorrow, investors would come in, profit pressure would rise, stock market fluctuations would start affecting pricing, cost cutting would begin, and the first impact would fall on farmers. Milk rates would drop, payments would be reduced, schemes would shut down, village development would slow down, and the trust that has been built over 75 years would shatter within just a few years. There are many cooperatives in India. Some created subsidiaries, some formed separate companies and listed those. But they never allowed the original cooperative to be sold. Because the soul of a cooperative lies in its ownership. If ownership leaves, the cooperative remains only in name. Amul did the same. Whenever needed, it took loans, issued bonds, created joint ventures, built private subsidiaries. But never touched the core Amul cooperative body. Money kept coming, growth continued, but the farmers' control never weakened. This smartness and maturity is what makes Amul an unmatched example in the world. Amul is not just a dairy success story, it is one of the most inspiring stories of governance. It proves that if the system is right, if there is honesty and vision, if leadership stays connected to the ground, then even without IPOs, private investors, and corporate pressure, the world's biggest dairy revolution can be built. And perhaps that is why when people ask, when will Amul launch an IPO? The answer is simple. Amul cannot bring an IPO. And honestly, Amul should not bring one either. Because Amul is not just a business. Amul is India's trust, the strength of farmers, and a symbol of that India that rises from its villages and stands tall before the world.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources, news from various news agencies, opinion polls and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.